we'll just go into some Jagannath Leela. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Jaivam Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudirayet. Hare Krishna. So, it's nice to see so many devotees turn out today for Sri Jagannath's RathYatra. Thank you all for coming, and I hope you're all raring to go for our. It started in 2012, so this is
14th annual.
the 14th annual ISKCON Scarborough RathYatra. Haribol! So we hope to see all of you bright-faced, tilakan, and ready to pull Jagannath's cart through Milliken Park to his designated park altar on Saturday, August 8th, right?
Yes.
So we hope to see you all there. Please bring your friends, family, acquaintances, co-workers, whoever you can get, relatives, whoever, get them to come and give them the opportunity to pull Lord Jagannath's Rath through the parks of through the pathways of Milliken Park on Saturday, August 8th. Are we all coming on Saturday?
Yes.
Everyone? Is there anyone who will not be coming? Okay, good. I'm glad to see so many hands didn't go up, but I'm sure you're coming. Maybe you were shy. You know, in the Gaur Artik song, Shiva Shukanarada Preme Gadadha. The translation is that Lord Shiva, Lord Brahma, Shukadeva Goswami, everyone is there, and maybe they're not externally able to dance, but they're dancing within. So all those who didn't put their hands on, I'm sure the hands went up from within. So to Jagannath RathYatra, so as you probably all know, RathYatra originated over 5,000 years ago when Lord Krishna was visiting Kurukshetra. So when he left Vrindavan, he was about 15 years old when he left Vrindavan to go to Mathura. What did he go there to do?
To kill Kamsa.
To kill Kamsa, yes. So he went there, he and Lord Balaram, they went there, they did their job, and they continued killing so many. Krishna says, Vinashaya cha dushkritam. So he comes to kill the dushkritas, right? So there were many dushkritas around in those days. He started with Putana and he worked his way along. One by one, he finished them all off before he wound up his leela. So when he left Vrindavan, the gopis and gopas were very distraught that Krishna is leaving. So they were all holding on. The gopis were, if you can just imagine his chariot wheel. Who came to bring him to Mathura?
Akrura.
Anybody know? Not you? Who? Akrura, yeah. So Akrura came, and so all the gopis, he was sitting on a chariot, and if you picture the wheel of the chariot, and all the gopis are holding on, they curl themselves around the wheel in between the spokes, you know. Just imagine that. And they all didn't want Lord Krishna to leave, but he promised them, he says, don't worry, I will come back. So he went to Mathura, but then he went to carry on that part of his activity in that particular appearance. And one of them, as I mentioned earlier, Vinashaya cha dushkritam, to eliminate the dushkritas. So he had a big job to do, and he went on from Mathura, he went to Dwarka. So fast forward, Mahabharat war is taking place. The gopis come to find out that Krishna is very near. He was no longer in Dwarka. So if you all know, Dwarka, it was an island city. It was a city, it was an island, and the city of Dwarka was sitting on that island, and it was in the middle of the Indian Ocean. Well, not in the middle, but off the shore of Gujarat in the Indian Ocean. So it wasn't very easy for anyone to get onto that island. I'm sure there were many nice creatures around protecting the island for Krishna, right? So they were swimming around there waiting for dinner. So no one could go, but they heard that Lord Krishna is in Kurukshetra, so they were determined. We're gonna go there. We're gonna bring Krishna back. Krishna promised he will come. He is this close. I'm sure he will come. So they went to Dwarka, and when they arrived in Dwarka, Lord Krishna, Lord Balaram, and Subhadra Maharani, they were already seated on their individual chariots, and they were about to leave for Dwarka. And then the gopis came and they fell and there's a whole dialogue that went on. I will not get into that dialogue now. But they basically tell Krishna, you promised that you will come back to Vrindavan and you never did. So please come now. And then Krishna tried to tell them that he had many things to do. And so they tied ropes on his chariot. And some of them were pulling the chariot, some of them were pushing them, some of them, they were everywhere, and they were determined to bring Lord Krishna, Lord Balaram, and Subhadra Maharani to Vrindavan. So this festival of RathYatra, Rath means chariot and Yatra means a festival. So this festival dates back more than 5,000 years, and it was traditionally being carried on in the state of Orissa for many, many, many centuries. And there is a story of a king by the name of Prataparudra. And I will not get into the whole story, it's a long one. But he was in search of his favorite, beautiful Lord, Nilamadava. And when he had heard that Nilamadava was being very nicely worshipped in a temple on top of a mountain somewhere, but he didn't know where that mountain was. So he sent his parties. You remember the story or the pastime of Lord Ramachandra when he was looking for Sita Devi, and he sent all the monkey warriors in different directions to find her. So like this, Maharaj Prataparudra sent all his people in every direction to look for Nilamadava. And then they found Nilamadava on top of a mountain. But Nilamadava was being worshipped by some tribals. And these tribals were called Shabaras. And Shabara, their main business was keeping pigs. They were pig farmers. So I don't know if anyone have ever been close to a pig farm or they drive by on a highway. It's not a very pleasant smell. You pass by a cow farm, that cow dung is very fragrant. But pig dung, I don't know. So you have to hold your nose until you pass that place. So these Shabaras were worshipping Nilamadava, and Lord Nilamadava was very happily accepting their worship. He was very happy, very pleased in his beautiful mandir on top of this mountain. And then once Maharaj Prataparudra found out where this mountain was, he decided he was going to go there, bring Nilamadava to his kingdom, to the city, and erect a humongous temple, beautiful, gorgeous temple, where he will install Lord Nilamadava. So, has anyone been to our new Rohini temple in Delhi? Okay, so I was in Delhi last year and I went to this temple and I felt like I was in Goloka Vrindavan. It was such a beautifully designed and constructed temple by the devotees, and it's like in the middle of nowhere. All around is emptiness, and this big beautiful temple that emerged there. And the ceilings are all coffered, I think is the word. And there's beautiful designs and paintings on the ceilings, there's an internal dome. You should see, when you go there, you will think that you're in Goloka Vrindavan. I'm sure the devotees who designed that temple, in their mind, they were in Goloka Vrindavan. Although we know that in the Agni Puran it says one who even contemplates erecting a temple of Lord Hari, he will take 21 generations of his family back home, back to Godhead. 21. 10 that's gone. So they might be the biggest rogues. I'm not saying anybody's family was rogue, but they could have been the biggest rogues. And they get entry into Goloka Vrindavan. The current, so within our current family, there's members that we love very much, and there's some that, sometimes they call them black sheep, the black sheep of the family. But sometimes, so all of those, Krishna take them all, and 10 to come. So we don't know what the future brings, right? We've heard the vow took by Bhishma Dev, right? And we all know what that vow was. He didn't know what the future brought, and the future didn't bring good things. But he took that vow. Lord Krishna, so kind, so merciful, he will take 10 generations to come. So a total of 21. 10 in the past, 10 in the future, and the current 10. So the devotees who conceived and built that temple, we know. But you can see when you visit. Like if you only visit for an hour or two, and you just go for a tour, oh my God, it's like, I didn't want to leave there. I wanted to stay. Unfortunately, I had to come back to Devi Dham. See where it says there? Devi Dham, Mahesh Dham, Hari Dham, Goloka. I had to come back to Devi Dham. So, the gopis were determined to pull Krishna. So this tradition was carried on in what's today called the state of Orissa. And Maharaj Prataparudra was determined now that he found Sri Nirla Madhava. He was going to bring him back to the city. He was going to erect this big, beautiful temple, and he will worship Nila Madhava there. So, but Lord Nila Madhava had other plans. He was very happy where he was on top of this mountain, being, Shabaras, these forest dwellers, what do they have? They don't have golden plates and golden spoons and golden cups to offer food to Krishna. They had probably leaf cups. You go into rural areas, leaf cups, leaf plates, that's what they had. But Nila Madhava was very happy. He says, he says, offer to me with love and devotion, I will accept. Love and devotion. That's what he wants. He doesn't want the fruit, flower, leaf of water. He wants love and devotion. And these Shabaras was giving him love and giving him devotion in spades. And Nila Madhava was very happily accepting. And now the king was going to come and disrupt this worship. So what did Nila Madhava do? He disappeared. Gone. So now the king came with all his people, and he was going to take Nila Madhava. When he got there, there's no Nila Madhava. Where is he? He completely disappeared. So now the king was morose. He said, that's it. He got his servants. They made a bed of kush grass, and he was going to lie there, and he was going to fast till death. But then Nila Madhava is so kind. He said, Maharaj, please don't do this. Go to the river. You will find a log floating on the river called Daru Brahman. You bring that log and you carve it, and you'll be able to tell which is the correct log. Why? Does anyone know? Yes, the symbols of Lord Vishnu, what are they?
Shank and chakra.
Sank, Chakra, Padma, Gada. So these four symbols will be etched on the log. So when you see the log, you cannot make a mistake. You will know that this is the log. So the Lord came floating down the river in the form of a log. So he went with his man, and again, this is a whole long, I'm not going to get into it. It was very, very heavy, but eventually they brought the log to, I'm not telling you the entire story. So if I piqued your interest, and you haven't heard this Leela before, and your interest has been piqued to the tippy top, then you can do some research and read and try to understand Jagannath Leela. And reading is the same as hearing. It's almost the same. You know, Prahlad Maharaj talks about the 9 processes of Bhakti. Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu, Smaranam, Pada, Sevanam, Varsha. Right? 9 of them. So Shravanam is very important, comes first. But so is then comes the next one, which is Kirtanam. So Kirtanam is also reading. It's nice to read out loud so we can hear, right? That our mind will not get diverted. Right? We know our minds get diverted very easily in Devi Dham, right? Very easily, right? 1 minute we're here and the next minute we're like miles away. So let's not make our minds diverted. Let's make it focused, like Arjuna's arrows. They were very focused. When his guru asked him, he took him to a mango tree, and he asked him, he says, what do you, he asked all his disciples, somebody saw the tree, somebody saw the mango, somebody saw the branch, somebody saw the limb, somebody saw the, he asked Arjun, what do you see? Arjun says, I see the stem holding the mango. He didn't see anything else. So this is how our devotion should be, so pointed that there's no chance of anything else invading our minds, right? You've heard of a cocoon? When we do our puja, we should build a cocoon around ourselves. The whole world can come to an end and we will never know, because we're so 108% focused on our puja that we will never know what's happening around us. This is how focused we should be. So Maharaj Pratuparudra brought this Daru Brahman, the trunk back. And then now he's agonizing how I'm gonna, so again, I'm gonna fast forward. Someone showed up, a carver, and he said, first the king employed carvers, and every time they, when you're carving, you have like a chisel and a hammer. Anybody ever seen carving? A chisel and a hammer. And every time they hit the hammer hits the chisel will break. And chisel is usually like a long, thick piece of metal. They don't break that easily. But they were shattering each time. Right? I'm sure all of you have seen a fictional character called Superman, and things will shatter when they hit his body. So they got that stuff. They got that from Jagannath Leela. So someone showed up, and the someone who showed up was Vishwakarma. Vishwakarma is the architect of the Devatas. So he showed up and he said, Maharaj, I will carve the deities for you. But I will do it under one condition. That you do not disturb me. It'll take me 1 month. Do not disturb me for a full month. No matter what happens, don't open the doors. So he went inside, he closed the door, and he started his work. So first few days, the king is parading up and down in front of the doors. You can't sleep. He's so anxious. Why?
He wants to know.
Because he wants to see the beautiful Vigraha of Lord Nilamadeva. So he's waiting and waiting. And the carver is like, and then after a few days, he doesn't hear the hammer hitting the chisel anymore. And he's wondering, what's going on? Why has he stopped? Has he left? Is he finished? What's going on? So now he lost all composure. and he opened the doors. And when he opened the doors, the carver was still in there, and he immediately disappeared. And when he looked, he saw Jagannath, Balaram, and Subhadra in the form that we're accustomed to seeing. So at first he was agonizing, oh, I made such a big blunder. Why did I do that? Why did I not wait a full month? But then he thought about it, he says, oh, this is Krishna's mercy. This is how he chose to appear before me, so I will accept. So he accepted the form, they prepared the deities, and they did RathYatra. So RathYatra day is considered to be the day that the Lord appeared in this world. So it's his birthday, if you will. Although the Lord never takes birth like we do, he appears, and when he's finished his Leela, he says, Paditaranaya sadhunam vinashaya dharma. Every yuga he comes, he protects his devotees, he annihilates the miscreants, and he reestablishes the principles of dharma. And when he's done, he goes. So it may appear that he is left, but he's always here. As we understand from Srimad Bhagavatam, Krishna exists in every atom. Conversely, he exists outside of every atom as well. So he's all pervasive. He's everywhere. So why is he in every atom? Does anyone know? So there are so many living entities, so many jivas, that are not qualified right now to be in the spiritual world, and they're down here. And so some of them have bodies like us. Some of them have bodies like animals that we see in trees and plants, etc. And some of them are in the air right now. We can't see them, right? Because they're viruses or whatever. Sorry, did you say terrorists? Did you say terrorists?
Bacteria and virus.
Oh, I thought you said terrorists. Yeah, they're in terrorists too, but they're terrorized. But yes, they're in the bacteria and the virus, and they're everywhere, even in the one-cell amoeba. If you remember your biology class from high school, a single-cell entity called an amoeba. Lord Krishna is in, there's a soul in there, and Krishna always accompanies the soul, right? Wherever that soul goes, Krishna is there as a witness. He's there as Shakshi, seeing everything. So, the Lord was prepared, a ritual bath was given to them, and then they were taken on a chariot, and they were taken out in the public into the kingdom so that everyone can see. And so why, does anyone know why the Lord chooses to go on his Rath and not stay in the temple all the time? We go to Toronto Temple or we come here.
He's giving darshan to those who can't come to the temple.
Yes. He's giving darshan to those who can't come. It's not that they can't come, they won't come. The doors are open. If you look behind, you'll see that door is wide open. Anyone can come in, but they choose not to come in. Okay, here is a bit of an industrial area. The Toronto Temple, there are people living next door, across the street, and there are devotees who live far away, Brampton, this place, that place, and they all come, Scarborough, and they all come there. And people who live right across the street, the door is wide open, 7 days a week, from 4 o'clock in the morning till roughly 9 o'clock in the night. Anyone can come in and anyone can go as they please, but they don't come. Why? Because they're unfortunate. They don't realize that the Supreme Personality of God in Himself is making Himself available. All they have to do is put one foot in front of the other, and they will be in the temple. So they don't come. So for those people, He goes out in His Rath and He distributes His love to everyone. And it's described in our scriptures that anyone who sees the Lord and his wrath is guaranteed to go back home, back to Godhead. Isn't that wonderful? But there's a caveat. What is the caveat? Anyone know? Anyone would like to know what the caveat is? Anyone would like to know?
Yes.
We give up all of our sinful activities. And if we give up all of our sinful activities, then we become candidates for going back home, back to Godhead. But if we say, oh, now I've seen Krishna, and he guaranteed me that I'm going to go, and then I'm going to go do all my nonsensical activities, and I'll continue doing it. You know, I'll break all of the regulative principles. I will not come to the temple. I will not do anything, but I know that he's going to take me. So, it doesn't go to waste. Seeing the beautiful smiling face of Lord Jagannath does not go to waste. Even if we continue our sinful activities, there is the one little glimmer that is there. And he will allow us to take birth as a human again and try to continue from the point where we saw him on the cart, while we continue all our sinful activities. He'll bring us back to that point. And when he brings us back to that point, that's where we have the opportunity. But then there's someone else who's waiting in the background. Do you know who that person is? That's ready to divert our attention. Yes, Devi. This is Devi Dham, of course. So this material world is called Durga. Durga means prison. And every prison has to have a warden. And the warden of this prison is Durga Devi. She is there, she's got 8 arms. And one arm has a whip in it. That's for us. She whips us into shape. But she also pollutes our mind. Not pollute it, but she puts things in front of us that make us think this is one. You've heard the saying, one man's treasure is another man's garbage.
Yes.
So she would put things in front of us and make it look like a treasure. And then we will forget about Jagannath on his run and we will run after it. Here, there, and everywhere. And again, our plan is foiled. But Lord Krishna, he is so merciful. He's always giving us little glimpse. Sometimes you talk to devotees and they ask them, how did you become a devotee? And they said, oh, I was walking down on Yan Street and I saw some devotees playing kartals and doing Hari Kirtan. And so I thought, oh, I should go in. So these are the glimpses that Krishna will give from time to time, One time, many, many years ago, Lord Ganesh was drinking milk, apparently.
Yes.
So everybody, I went to a temple. My sister was doing a puja at some temple in Mississauga and she invited me. There's long lineup. Hundreds of people, we don't know where they came from. Even our temple on Avenue, long lineup, people are coming. And everybody wants to feed Lord Ganesh milk. But then they go home and they continue doing so they're thinking, oh, this is a miracle, he's drinking my milk. So why don't we continue with that miracle? And he removes, we know that Lord Ganesh, his primary duty is to remove obstacles in the path of devotion. So before one approaches, those who are following Karma Kanda section of the Vedas, it's compulsory that they first approach Lord Ganesh so he can make that path clear. But if our mind is putting obstacles in front of that path, it will never be clear. So first we have to clear our mind. So Bhakti Vinod Thakur, he sang this beautiful song. Mama mana mandire rahoni shishden Krishna Murari Shri Krishna Murari. So he's saying, I want to make my mind mana mandir. I want to make, man is mind, mandir is the temple of the, I want to make my mind a mandir. And who do I want to install in that mandir? Murari Krishna. Why Murari? Because Murari, Krishna is known as Murari because he killed one of the biggest demons named Mura. So we follow Ekadashi. That's a whole other thing that you can research on. Why we follow Ekadashi. But he killed that demon Mura. So we want him to kill all the demoniac tendencies that are lurking in our minds. Make it completely clean. So that Murari Krishna can sit there and be enthroned in our mind, and everything we do from the time our eyes open in the morning to the time they close at night, that everything that we do, we're doing for Krishna. There's a beautiful prayer found in 11th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. Kayena vacha manasindriyaya punyatmana. So if you know that prayer, the purport of that prayer is that everything I do, everything, my words, my thoughts, everything, I want to make that as an offering to Lord Narayan. So devotees will say that prayer before they go to bed at night. And if they say that prayer, they have to make sure that the purport of that prayer is complete. So our thought should be of Krishna, our action should be of Krishna, should be to serve Krishna. Everything that we do throughout the day should be to serve the Supreme Lord without thinking of asking for anything in return. When we go to Krishna, we bow to him, all we should ask is for devotional service to his lotus feet. He knows everything. He knows what we want. And he will give us what we want. And he will give it to us in spades. You've heard the story of the little the Krishna. He goes to he goes to the market, and this lady is selling fruits, and he wants fruits. So he takes the fruits from her, and he's piling them on his arm, and he doesn't have money to pay her. And he said, I don't have money, but she's giving him the fruits lovingly, love and devotion. She's giving him those fruits. And when she looked back in her basket, all her fruits that was there turned into jewels. Krishna made this poor fruit vendor a very rich woman. Same thing with Sudama. Sudama didn't want anything, but his wife didn't want to wear saris with holes anymore. So she sent him to Krishna, and he was embarrassed to go because all she could bring for Krishna was some flat rice, which is something that everybody will eat, a whole grain rice. You go to the market. I remember when I was living in Mayapur, we had somebody coming to our apartment to take orders from all the devotees, and he'd go to the market and shop for us. And they had tons of different grades of rice. They had Tulsi bowl, Govinda bowl, this one, that one, the other, and each one is different. You cook it, it tastes different, and the grains boiled and everything different. So Krishna gives us exactly what he knows, what we want. We don't have to ask him. So one last point. When Srila Prabhupada came to America in 1965, how much money did he bring with him? 40 rupees. Because that was the amount that was allowed by Indian government in those days. 40 rupees, but not that Prabhupada had more than 40 rupees he could bring. That's all he had. He had a typewriter and the books. He had nothing. He came, he lived in New York, here, there, all over the place for 1 year. And then Krishna gets what Krishna wants. Krishna gave him the ability to start Prabhupada wrote this poem when he arrived in Vasalanarvan. And he said, Krishna, I don't know why you brought me here. This society is demoniac. I don't even know if they will understand my speech. But I am yours to do whatever you want. So Krishna gave him the ability to open a temple, 1 temple, 2 temple, 3 temple. Within 11 years, Prabhupada opened 108 temples with 40 rupees. Just see. 40 rupees. And he opened 108 temples all over the world. He initiated 5,000 disciples, and they would do anything Prabhupada asked them to do. If Prabhupada asked them to jump, they will ask, how high? Right? So Krishna knows what we want, he will give us. We don't have to ask for anything. So we should make ourselves an instrument in Krishna's hand, and he will take care of the rest. Thank you very much. Jagannath RathYatra ki jai.